Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. I thought I would make a video and share a conversation that I thought was a pretty cool conversation to have, and I wanted to share some of that information and get some feedback from some of you folks that watch my videos. I was recently talking to a good buddy of mine who I've known for years, and for a long time we competed with one another and actually against one another. And he's one of the guys that got me interested in some of the action pistol matches, and he competes at a very high level in those matches, and he also competes in three-gun matches, and just has a lot of fun with it. But he's also a professional law enforcement officer and a training officer. And we got to talking, and he was explaining to me some of the differences in how these different disciplines and matches have evolved since the time that I used to compete, which has been quite a while now, and some of the rule changes. And our conversation's sort of gotten geared towards self-defense and training for self-defense. Now, some of these disciplines of these action matches were actually developed to help build skill for the civilian and for defense. Okay. IDPA is one of those types of matches that you had to use. You couldn't use like the big race guns and all the things that some of the other matches have evolved, and they try to have realistic scenarios. But they also have range rules, and they have parameters and safety rules in place for obvious reasons. It's very important for safety for everyone involved. And you have to be careful in getting conditioned to do certain things for the match that may not be the best tactic for a real life defensive scenario. So what did we learn from this? We learned that some of the things that are foundational rules, and one is the way you train is the way you fight. You've heard folks with military training and law enforcement training say that. We also know that from sports, right? We've had our coaches tell us that what we do in practice is what we're going to do in the game. Trying to emphasize that we need to do things right when we practice so that we will do the right things in the game, right? So, same concept. And, we have to understand that if our only training is competition, then we may be conditioning ourselves and learning things and having things ingrained in us that may not suit us well in a real self-defense scenario. Now that goes into firearms training as well, and I'll share with you a quick story that I've been told. I've read it in magazine articles, and I've had instructors actually tell the same story, so I believe it to be accurate. And that is, there was this police department, and the training officer there, a very conscientious training officer, wanted to really do a good job of training his officers, but he also had rules on the range. One of the rules on the range was you had to police your brass. You had to pick up your empty casings. And the guys would shoot, and they'd reload, and they'd bend over and start picking up their empty casings. And that relayed into actual examples of some of those police officers being in a gunfight and needing to reload their firearm, and they actually bent over and began to pick up their empty cases in the middle of a gunfight. And it's rather obvious that that's probably not the best tactics, okay? And that's just reinforces those sayings like the way that we train is the way that we will fight. And so if these competitions are our only source of training, then we may be setting ourselves up for some pitfalls. So we need to also incorporate some realistic training and realistic scenarios so that we are developing those skills that we will use in the fight, that we should use in the fight. And that's really all I wanted to talk about in this video. I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say with that, especially some of you folks that enjoy the shooting sports. So, look forward to the conversation. Appreciate you folks watching my videos. Thank you. And remember to shoot straight on the range and in life.